Hi there, welcome to Bulls vs Bears Global Alpha Edition. Special guests, myself and Jonathan from the regular Bulls vs Bears. Young blokes this week away on certain other duties, research trip, I think.
They're just testing out the warm weather.
Yeah, testing out the warm weather, that's correct. So in this edition of Global Alpha, we are essentially going to cover what happened last week, what's coming up in the next week. Going to have a little bit of a chat about Tesla and some of the banks' earnings from last week and Netflix, why it was down, and just run through just general global markets over the course of the week. Has just been and coming up. So, highlights of last week, JT. Obviously, we had a lot of the bank earnings come out, and one big standout for me was Goldman Sachs had their the best markets and broking or fees and transactions from broking quarter of any broking business ever.
Yeah.
So in history. So
and I did talk about this on the regular version, but basically, if the finance industry is the plumbing of the finance industry, if that makes sense. So basically,
of the economy almost, right?
So if the financial services industry is on fire, the whole stock market should be on fire. And so we had Goldman Sachs record trading volumes. Citigroup had a good beat.
Pretty similar as well.
And then I also noted that a lot of the exchanges, not just in America, but around the world, are at record highs. And then some of the brokers as well. So we talked about...
Yeah, right. Like Robinhood's up something like 300% since the April lows. And then
even some of the TradFi guys like Charles Schwab hit it out of the park. Interactive brokers hit it out of the park.
They were later. Yeah, they were later in the week, but it was a bit of a layup, really. Those those trades there. I think
we should have been over it, but we weren't. So, but yeah.
Oh, look, we suspected, but it wasn't. They did rally around about 4 or 5%. I don't know whether I'd be brave enough to go at Robinhood after a 300% rally, but US market's a very different beast.
So one thing I have known, so I'm obviously honing my skills on the US markets because it is a different beast, as you said. But one thing I have noticed is that I actually think, and this is just a bit of a theory, is that the US markets could be a little bit easier to trade than the Australian markets. Now my theory behind this is that some of the best prop shops, some of the best market makers, some of the best bookmakers in the world, some of the best actual smarts or sharps are here in Australia. And so our market being quite small, there's less leakage.
Yeah, okay.
So my theory is that because the US is so much bigger and you've got the whole world playing there, there's actually more loose change to pick up.
Or,
there.
as they say, dumb money.
There you go.
And I think that's what they entitled that movie, the GameStop trade, where it was the movie was named Dumb Money. But there's a lot of money flowing in there, so there is a lot. It seems to trend a lot harder as well. It's certainly a far more interesting market in terms of having tech businesses. Look, I mean, if you want to trade, if you want to be involved in mining, of course, Australia's the place to be. But those compounding tech companies, they really are all based and get that available capital in the US.
And it's a very deep market as well. Like it's not like so. We use a website that gives comparables within one, and it's not like so. As an example, if you want to buy let's say a realestate.com.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, there's only one. Over there, there's multiple ones.
Yeah.
So that's an example. And so they all have different perks. They're all servicing different parts of the US. So, there's just a lot more opportunity there. So, either way, that's just us touting
indeed.
Alpha.
Look, we had Netflix as well last week. Despite the fact that it went, that it beat on nearly all metrics, basically, we saw it fall away a couple of percent after earnings came out, despite it beating, and then fell. It was down 5% on Friday night. We go into the nitty-gritty on that and the members version. And, if you want to subscribe, obviously go to our website, mpcmarkets.com.au, and you can sign up with us there and get the more detailed paid version of this podcast. But no, it's very interesting that, and we do a bit of a deep dive on how much streaming is overall dominating in the in the way people watch TV now. So yeah, but obviously coming up to this week, we've got another couple of the Mag 7, Google on Tuesday, Tesla on Wednesday.
And they're both after the bell, so it'll be Google on Tuesday is actually our Wednesday morning.
Our Wednesday morning.
And Tesla will be out Thursday morning.
Yeah, so there's been a bit of debate in the office. I think I'm one of the only sitting in the bullish camp, but
I'm actually more towards your side. But I will give the bearish side in that Elon is as polarizing as Trump.
Yes.
So we have had structured products with Tesla involved, and a lot of people were like, man, I love them. I love NVIDIA. I love Microsoft. I absolutely will never invest in Tesla. So It was just so the people that actually invested in those structured products either just like Elon's vision or they had a Tesla themselves. So there was no middle ground. It's either you love the guy or you hate the guy, and that's the investment case.
But it's a bit of an odd one because it's not about him beating earnings.
Mm-hmm.
It's about him selling that vision.
It's the show.
It's the show, basically.
Yes. And he is a good salesman.
And look, it's not an investment thesis, but I'm going to say it anyway. Basically, I think this is going to be the earnings of Elon's back. So, and look, they've got the robo-taxis, they've got the Optimus robots as well. He did a thing for emergency services function over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
His Optimus robots manned all the stations for popcorn and drinks and all that sort of thing.
And even after he served the popcorn, even wave goodbye.
Wave goodbye. So it's a little bit slow, I've got to admit, but but overall, yeah, I've seen a few things drop on social media in the last week where Elon's calling the addressable markets not just manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone will have one of these in their house.
Oh.
So, and if you think about, but you can buy a robotic lawnmower, you can buy a robotic vacuum cleaner that just, that circles around at the moment. But I mean, imagine if it can cook your dinner and look after your kids.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, we're talking about the stock market here. So the stock market doesn't always make sense. So as you said, you may not be in an investment thesis, but if Elon can sell the dream, which is what you're kind of...
And look, he's got some serious chops and serious history in selling the dream.
Absolutely. But if that's enough for investors to invest money, that moves the share price. And that's what it is at the end of the day.
So and a lot of people have said to me, the European car sales are horrible and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, exactly he's not in the car market anymore. He's in the robo-taxis market. So, and that effectively is a yielding asset.
He basically just built the cars to get data, I think.
Well, potentially. And he's rolling out Grok on all of them. Anyway, look, I'm a bit of I like what he does. I think history will smile on him. And I've said to quite a few clients, like, Thomas Edison was probably a bit of a dick if he had Twitter as well, those sorts of stubborn characters.
Actually, that's a good point. Is that so some of our past, say, sports heroes or guys that we grew up with, I'm pretty sure if they had social media now, you'd be like,
there'd be careers over. Exactly. I'm a really big fan of biographies, and all that is definitely reinforced. They're very interesting, but definitely reinforced. You do not want to meet your heroes because they are all jerks,
and which you have to be to win. That's
if you've got that single-minded and like win at all costs attitude. Yeah, you're probably not a great husband, and you're probably not a great friend.
Exactly.
So and Rockefeller was notorious for being basically one of the most obnoxious people in history. So, but he was the richest man in the world. So it's
well, either way, we're here to make money. So I mean, Mark's given the bull case for Tesla, but we'll go deeper into it on the paid version.
On the paid version, of course, and you can go to our website and get the global calendars for the next couple of weeks. You've got names in there like Coca-Cola. Pepsi did well last week. There's Union Pacific, Honeywell, Raytheon Technologies. Which you can hear more on the paid version as well. That's one of our favourites, and see where that's going to go. And and hopefully the boys will be back next week. Strong and full of new information, because the following week we do have the likes of Microsoft, Meta, Apple, some of the big healthcare names, and some of the big oil names, and our old friend Warren Buffett as well, who won't be that exciting because I think he's at about 35% cash.
Yeah, exactly right.
So only good if it's going down. But yeah, so go to the website, subscribe, and we'll speak to you next week.